Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back. It's been a while. And yes, we're live. I see everybody in the comments already. What's up, Jason P and Jason Johnson, Dipley, Brian, Just Work. Um, I saw Nasty in here and Josh, Zach. What's up? What's up, everybody? Yeah, remember to hit that like button. Um, I can talk again this week. I know I couldn't do much on the night's show last week, so I kind of wanted to come on here and try it again, and we'll see what's going on. I'm past tense. So, welcome to the Reliable HVACR podcast, and like I said, we are live today. I'm happy to see you guys tuning in and showing up, so I really appreciate you guys. Um, I also want to thank the sponsors of the podcast as well. So the future of remote support is here. You can visit visalogics.com/HVAC. And that's one of those things that I've been trying out. So it's like they're trying to push this virtual technical support, whether you're trying to call like a customer or one of your technicians and you're trying to, help them over the phone. You know how frustrating that can be. So this kind of puts you in to see what they see. So it's like a kind of like a video call where you can actually draw on the screen, help them out. Maybe they didn't know the breaker was off or something really dumb where you go out there and you're like, man, if I had just seen it, I could have helped you over the phone. But that's what Visa Logics is. And then, of course, our other sponsor is Jobber. You guys already know the CRM that helps run our business is Jobber, and they have professional invoicing, quoting, scheduling jobs. That's how we do our maintenance agreements, schedule all our maintenance to keep us busy through this um, slower season for us as far as like AC work. So visit getjobber.com/reliable HVACR. You'll get a discount and a free trial. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you, Brian, for the super chat. I appreciate that, man. Fashionably late. I like that. So what's going on, everybody? I will leave a link. Let me see if I can do that right now before we get into it. Hopefully my voice will last the show. I'm gonna leave a link in case anybody wants to hop on and say something. I don't really have a topic today. If you guys have any questions, make sure to leave them in all caps, and we'll get to that. So that link there is to join in the chat if you guys want to hop on the show, but you don't have to. It's cool. Let's see. So how's everybody doing? How's everybody's work week? Is it slow where you're at? We're doing a bunch of maintenance stuff. That's all I've been doing. Calls come in for refrigeration. We do a lot of walk-ins, ice machines, stuff like that. So what's up, JD? These crack units are pretty large, 12 tons each. There's 2 of them. I saw you talking about something earlier. Let's see. Jason fixing the installer's F-ups. Apparently they don't know what solenoid valves are. They drop in the charge, but didn't realize there was 4 solenoid valves that still had nitrogen. So are they doing like a purge pressure test and they forgot to clear all that out? You gotta. That's one thing in a refrigeration. You got to remember you got to remember their solenoid valves. On an AC system, you just plug it up or hook it up and vacuum and get everything done. But on the refrigeration side, you might want to throw a magnet on those valves, right? Get those open. Make sure you get a complete vacuum and pull the system down. We are still as busy as 2. Yeah, man. Well, you do all the industrial stuff. So like I have some guests coming on that do a lot of AC work in the whole what is it? The growth rooms facilities and stuff like that, where they have the flower rooms or grow rooms, or whatever you want to call them, and they do AC work all year round. even if it's cold outside, because they're from like one of them's from Colorado, the other one's from Canada, so they're gonna have the same situation up there. It's gonna be cold, but those plants, they need light and air conditioning. They need certain conditions to grow and do all that. So we're gonna have them on. They do AC work all year round, so pretty interesting stuff there. I deal with AC all year round because we don't have cold weather. Like right now, it's 80 basically. So we can get those calls coming in because it's 80. Maybe gets down to the 50s, and then we just don't turn our AC on. We just turn it off, open the windows, and we're good. All right, we got somebody that popped on real quick. Hey, what's up, Brian?
Hey man, what's up?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
Trying to stay dry.
How is it? How is it where you're at? What you got going on?
It's temperamental. Mother Nature's going through menopause right now. See, it started off raining, then it started snowing, then it rained, and then on the way home it was like a mixture between the two. Sleet.
And what state are you in again?
West Virginia.
West Virginia. So real wet, real cold right now. Do you are you doing refrigeration, right? You're not doing do you do AC work or just refrigeration?
It's probably 85-10, 85%, or well, 85-15, 85% refrigeration, 15% HVAC.
I gotcha. Yeah, man. It's always nice when you got those refrigeration calls because you get to stay indoors, not worry about that as much.
Yeah, well, you know,
Or do you do more walk-ins, or do you do like reach-ins as well?
I do mainly reach-ins. Uh, big doing
Okay.
glass front merchandisers. Uh, we're starting to delve into more walk-ins and stuff. We picked up a couple new customers, and they have walk-ins more like the capsule pack, like Subway type setups. It's modular with the top mounted evaporator and all that. Very little remote stuff right now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, like I deal with more of the big stuff, like well, not big, light commercial, I guess, where it's like walk-ins and rooftop units. So like every now and then, because I haven't done it in so long, I do enjoy those like reach-in calls. Because I like recently I was working at a hospital, so like I was indoors for a few weeks, just working on some of the reach-ins and stuff like that.
Yeah, I tell them to send me on anything. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm even if it's something I've never worked on before. That's Google is your friend, and I just anything refrigeration. That's my jam. I love refrigeration. I don't know what it is about it. It's just I love my job. I look forward to going to work every day.
That's awesome, man. Let me bring on. We got Josh coming in too. What's up, Josh?
Howdy, sir.
How you been, man?
I've been good. I was like, I don't feel worthy to get on this live show, but I heard a crazy statistic from your home state the other day that
What's
I
that?
thought was interesting. That only 30% of prisons in Texas have AC. Have you heard that statistic before?
No, and that's funny because my dad used to work in prisons as far as like the cooking equipment, because he used to work at another competitor, and they're a big company down here in Texas. And I remember he would tell me about the stuff at the prisons, because he would work on the because he doesn't do HVAC. He does all the cooking equipment. So whatever they cook with, he works on that stuff. So he's worked at the prisons. I haven't, and I didn't know that statistic. And if you can ever come on the show, that's probably something I'll be asking you about, because I know you always got those stats, those from the videos that you do on your channel.
Yeah, somebody told me about it on our live show, and he was like, "Yeah, most prisons don't have AC in Texas." I was like, "So not only are you caging them up, you're cooking them." I mean, that's just
You can
crazy.
you can imagine with the weather we get, because Man, that like this past summer was really bad. It was like 115, 117, like averaging every day. Like we didn't hit it. Like we weren't under 110 for the longest time until like after August.
Yeah, I can't imagine. I can't imagine.
You're not
So
too far from Texas, right? Or are you?
no, I'm in Virginia.
Oh, okay.
So I live
But
about
you've
2 hours south of DC.
oh, gotcha. But you've
Yep.
you've been over here because you toured the Dakin and whatnot, right?
Yeah, it was 109 degrees. I thought I was gonna die when I was in Houston. Um, so yeah,
You came during the summer, didn't you?
yeah, it was in July. Yeah,
The worst time to come.
I came again a couple months ago, and they were protesting right outside of our hotel. They had to get us no, I don't want to get political, so I'm not even gonna say what they were protesting about, but they had to give us a police escort just to get dinner that night and everything. It was nuts. So
Oh, really?
yeah, Houston's for real. So
Yeah, I have a buddy who lives up in Houston, so I've been up there a few times, like in the past year or so. And we went, like he took us out because we didn't know the area or anything. But then he's like, "Yeah, we're gonna go downtown for some grub. You gotta be a little bit careful. You gotta make sure that you're packing." And I was like, "Dude, just as long as you keep us safe, I'll feel good."
yeah,
It's a different area because I'm from South Texas. I'm about like 6 hours south of Houston, so very different area down here. Like I'm used to like how it is down here. Even though it's Texas, up there it's a little different.
yeah, yeah. The Daikin factory is actually outside of the city. Um, it's in a really small town called Waller. But Houston, they pretty much say it's in Houston because that's the closest that anybody knows what it is. But
Yeah,
yeah, pretty crazy.
and that
So
was pretty awesome. Because are you have another video coming out too for another? Is it another tour video of something else?
it is, yeah. So we're going into a Ferguson this time. So do y'all have Ferguson in Texas?
I don't. I haven't seen one, so I don't know where they're at.
Okay, Ferguson. It's basically a supplier. They sell in some areas they only sell plumbing, but in my area they sell heating and air as well. And so I don't know if it's quite as flashy and fancy as the Daikin video turned out, but
Yeah,
still still something pretty interesting. Um, and
we're getting all the insights on your channel over there. Because
one interesting
Daikin never let anybody else do that, right?
I was the first. They want to
Yeah.
do it more now. They had
Oh,
to
that's cool.
they said they had to cut the teeth on somebody and they let me do it. But um Ferguson, they were telling me that the majority of Americans live within 60 minutes of a Ferguson. So, which I didn't realize they
Okay.
were that big. I knew they were big, but that's pretty big. So,
Like I haven't seen one, but I don't know if it's because I don't know. We might have one unless I'm getting it confused with a different supplier. I'm just used to the area that I'm at where I go. It's like Johnstone, Johnson, and a few other ones like Carrier and all the major manufacturers. They kind of hang out in this one little hub, street, and I have access to all of them right there. I just cannot remember for the life of me if we have a Ferguson. But we have a lot of them down here. That's a good thing too. Um, like I'm a small town, or I feel like it's a small town, but it's growing rapidly, and we have a lot of the major stuff within, like you said, within distance where we can get to it. Like if I need anything from Train, Carrier, Linux, like they're all down here. Like I can go down the street and get stuff.
yeah. Well, Ferguson, I don't know how much residential you do, but I think they're pretty much residential. Like
Oh, okay.
I've never seen a commercial guy and only do plumbing. So, that might be why you've never seen them. You just may never have needed to.
Yeah.
They try to sell all kinds of stuff. They sell lighting, they sell appliances in our area. So they're trying to dip their toe into a bunch of things, you know. I guess as long as they can make money off of it.
They
So
Yeah.
do. There's like three. I think there's three within maybe 40 miles of me. Yeah, they're all over the place.
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm gonna have to look up if we even have one. We have a Ferguson plumbing supply.
that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have one, and it's in Far. There's a city here, Far, Texas. That's where they all are. Like, if you need anything, that city has, like I said, all those manufacturers hang out on that side of town.
Yep. So we did a tour in there, and the one we went in is in Norfolk, Virginia, which is one of the bigger ones in our area. They one interesting thing that they're doing, and I think more suppliers are going to be doing it too. And y'all may have seen this. It was news to me. Is they're doing these lockers now. So if you need a part and you're going to be showing up after hours, they'll put your part in that locker and give you a code. You have that
That's cool.
in your area?
I haven't seen it,
No.
or I
Yeah,
haven't heard of it.
So that's
I'm
something that
I'm still trying to get used to kind of like actually ordering stuff online, because like I shop at Johnstone. They have an online app and everything where I can. I think they even give us a discount to shop online. I'm not used to it. I show up, I get what I need, and I take off. And then I'm still not there yet where I'm like ordering online and then picking it up and all that.
So this can be our debate for the night, because I think it's a pain in the ass.
Which part?
So Ferguson actually. So I now predominantly use Johnstone as well in our area, but years ago, Ferguson was actually the first company that ever gave me a credit account when I started my business, and they did the same thing. You know, they would give you a discount if you bought online. And so I tried, I started doing it for a bit. Well, the thing is, if you order it, so like you said, if you go to the supply house and you get it and you get it wrong, well, they're going to make it right. But I was
Yeah.
getting stuff wrong, or maybe it wasn't a HRI match, or whatever the reason was, it wasn't right. And then of course they're going to say, well, it's your fault. You ordered it, and it was a pain, so I despise it now. So
Have you ever tried ordering online, Brian, or do you guys just go in old school?
They said there's been a couple times where I have. It's like stuff that's like universal that I know a counter person couldn't.
Like truck stock?
Yeah, it's just truck stock. But when it comes to like TXVs or something like that, or fan blades, is a big one. And I got some old school. I got to touch it. I got to look at it, because
That's what I always tell people too, is when you're out there getting like even if it's a motor, or like you said, a fan blade or something like that, you better go and look at it, make sure it matches up. If you can take the part with you, even better, but match it up, part number, all that. If it's in a box, compressors, every time I do not check or open the box, it's the wrong compressor every time. So I always tell people, and I tell our guys too, when you're there, I mean, they let you do whatever, like open the box, take it out, inspect it, make sure it's the right connections, the right size. I one time got like, it was delivered, because it was a huge compressor, but it was like it said something like 500 volts, or I forgot how many volts it was. I was like, dude, we don't even touch anything over 460. This was like a 5 something volt. I don't even know what it was to, but it was a train RTU, and we needed a 240 208 scroll compressor, and this looked nothing like it. And I was like, man, and like we didn't check, and we hauled it up and everything, and after the fact, we're like, oh, I got to bring it back down. We can't have to bring it back in one piece, because we were returning it. But that's what I always tell people. I'm like, if you go to the supply house, open the boxes, check everything, make sure, because the last thing you want to do is get to your job site and it's the completely wrong item. So that's what I like to do too. That's why I like going in person as well.
yeah, they just had to. Like, I ran into an issue for a VAP motor for a heat craft. I had to had one that went bad. It burned up, it froze up the evaporator, and then it ended up tearing up the motor. shorten it out internally, and ordered it. They didn't have it at United, but I ordered it, and when I got there, of course, put my hands on it. First thing I do is try to turn the shaft, and it was locked up tighter than a drum. I mean, right out of the box. And
Dang.
I was like, yeah, you're going to have to order one. This one ain't going to work. So that's just, I'm like you. Every time I haven't laid my hands on something, it's come back and it's bit me, and that cost me time. That cost the company time. The customer, they're down their piece of equipment. It's just take your time, check it out.
Yeah,
Have
it's
y'all
always
done?
best.
Have y'all ran into this thing? I don't know if Carrier's the only one, but Carrier started doing this thing to us where they would put the boards in this packaging that if you were to open the package, it's now non-refundable. And so they sent us the wrong board, and my guy opened it and went to try to put it in and said, this ain't right. And of course we try to return it, and they say, you've broken the seal, and and they won't return it. And I was not happy.
Did
I
they?
said,
Did you get it resolved, or did you have, or what happened with that one?
make a long story short, I kicked and screamed enough to where he I don't remember what he did. He worked the numbers in some way to where I got the actual board at wholesale price or something, to where it wasn't as big of a deal. But I mean, some of these boards, that's a big deal, hundreds
Yeah, because
of dollars.
that's all we're seeing now, especially, and that's what I'm afraid of too. Is like, because I've had bad boards coming through on like walk-in boxes, right? And I'm always like, how is this gonna last? How is this gonna work? Especially in a freezer. I know they're meant to. They test them somehow, right? They're not just meant for freezers, and they've never tested it. I know they test them. I know they do their due diligence for the most part, but like a lot of it's still new. We don't know how long it'll last, right? A year, 2 years, whatever it is, in that freezer. Because I've had one that gave out in the freezer recently. Actually, it's like a few of the relays gave out. One for the defrost heaters and one for the fans. So I had to kind of bypass it until we got a new board. But I don't know how long they're gonna last, because it's constantly being frozen over, or it's in defrost. You get condensation. There's tons of factors that go into it, and I'm like, man, that's the thing that I hate. And boards, they're becoming more common, and then we're seeing the issues that are coming out now that they've been out for a few years, and this and that, and getting those. It's like with anything else. If you get something out of bad out of the box, that's a horrible experience.
Yeah, I wonder. I always wondered, like I know you're.
What's up? What's up?
How you doing, Adrian?
I just wanted to bring him on real quick. Go ahead, Brian.
I just like your issues you were having with the intelligent boards. I just wonder, like, how much when they design those, are they designing them with ideal conditions in mind, or are they designing them like, because customers,
Yeah,
but
I would love to think that they are designing them with everything in mind, but that I would assume that requires like them actually talking to technicians, right? Like, what do you guys see out there, and this and that. I don't know if Josh, from your experience, let me bring on Mick real quick. We got another one. Got a whole party going on. Josh, I don't know if you have any, like when you went to Dakin, when you went to or talked to these manufacturers, do you guys discuss any of that? Like do you see their testing? Because obviously at the where you're at, or where you toured, they have an area that they test this stuff in, don't they?
Yeah, so they do have an R&D area. I toured Goodman years ago before Daikin bought them, and it used to be in Houston. They had like 6 different locations. I'm sure there's people in the chat that have probably been on that tour. I feel like everybody I know has been on that tour years ago. And I remember back then going through the R&D section, and it was actually really cool. It was one of the reasons that we sold Goodman for a little while when I first started my business, and it was, they would do things like slam the equipment up against, a pallet and see if it did it this way and that way. And they would be testing all these different things. I remember the guy taking a little vial or whatever the word is, but this little glass tube of metal shavings and on purpose dumping it into the refrigeration line and, doing things like that. And so I thought it was really cool. Well, anyway, make a long story short, now that they're all under one roof and they're in that new Daikin facility, it's all hush hush. They won't let just any Tom, Dick, or Harry go back there. They certainly didn't allow me to take cameras back there. So
yeah, and that just like I've talked to. I actually had Heatcraft reach out to me like a long time ago. I didn't have that many subs or anything, but I was doing videos. Then I started doing those videos where I found, bad board here, bad things, and most of the issues I've had were with the boards because their technical support kept trying to lead me down the path of the EEV, the electronic expansion valve. And I was like, oh, I don't think it's this. And I replaced one, and same thing happened. Like it worked for like a day, and then it wasn't getting the signal from the board, so it would either stay stuck closed or stuck open. So I was like, next, like send me the board at the same when they sent me the valve, I asked for the board, and I was like, I'm gonna change it on a hunch, and it was actually the board. Now the board looked fine. It's just like, and that's another thing we have to get into too, is we got to start being like really good board technicians, electronic technicians, to where we're gonna have to start soldering all these and fixing these boards, because that's all we're gonna see. So, I mean, I put a new board in, it worked, and I've had other issues. I've had companies call me from neighboring cities because they're having the same issues. Because I deal with commercial accounts, so they buy their own equipment, and every city has the same equipment. Now we only go so far. We go 2 hours out. So like after 2 hours, like I said, there's another company out there that even called us, and it's like, hey, we're having this issue, and we heard that you all were having the same issue. What did you all do to fix it? So I don't know. Like I said, they kind of ghosted me after those videos. I don't know what happened. Probably got. I'm not on their good side anymore. But
You got blacklisted.
yep. So what's going on, Mick? HVAC EMT.
Yeah.
How y'all doing? How's work been for you guys?
Pretty good, Adrian. I can't complain.
What state are you in?
I'm in New Orleans, Louisiana.
So how is it cold? You
Yeah,
guys do
it was pretty cool. Chilly this morning, 47 degrees. Around 5 o'clock this morning.
That's freezing for me, man. Like it gets like in the 50s here, and that's it.
Yes, sir. I think the lowest we've seen it here was down in the 20s, which is not often over here.
Okay. So do you guys do a lot of no heat stuff too? Because
yes, sir.
I am like so rusty on that stuff, because we don't, like I said, it gets like in the 50s. People turn off their ACs and open up the windows.
Yes, sir. We had a neighbor of ours actually reach out to us for his heater. He actually broke the furnace trying to fix it himself. So we
you gotta
changed
love
the
that.
gas valve, thermocouple, and the pilot assembly just to get him up and running again. That was fun.
You gotta love that, because I posted like memes and different things on social media, and when one pops off, it's like a whole bunch of homeowners run to the comments, and then they're like, "Oh, you guys are scamming and this and that," and it's like,
right.
I could care less, right? If a customer wants to do something to their own equipment, I will be there when you guys mess up, after the fact, and then, it's going to cost like double.
Right. Yes, sir.
That's money in my pocket right there.
Right. Yes, sir. And I was listening when y'all were talking about Ferguson Supply. They actually do HVAC. They sell HVAC equipment over here where I'm at. And I've been dealing with them for about a year, and I haven't had an issue with them since then.
No, that's awesome. Yeah. How about you, Mick? How's it going? I know you were on our other show. I couldn't even talk on that one.
Yeah, it's good to see you again. Are you feeling better?
Yeah, I'm gonna see. I think I'm doing pretty well right now. It was a flu that kind of hit our family.
Oh, yeah.
Man, it knocked me out for like a few days.
Yeah, it's funny you mention that because my daughter just got over a stomach bug last week, and it was it was horrendous. When it goes around the family, it seems that pick up stuff from school and they bring it home.
That's
And
the only way I get sick. I never get sick. Like I've
yes,
always been really good about work. I don't miss work. I don't miss anything. And then like one of my kids gets sick, and I'm like no, here it comes, right?
used to be I think an old rumor like plumbers and HVAC techs are resistant against most strains. Because we deal with a lot of dirty environments and equipment with a lot of built up algae and whatnot. So yeah.
Oh yeah.
But it's hard when it goes through the family and you get one healthy and then the next one falls and it's like, oh, it's a long week. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Doing well. Yeah. Lots going on. Wearing two hats at the moment. So I think I shared with just my partner and I started a small HVAC business and it's still working for 9 to 5 for my other job, which is for the national grid here in New Zealand. And
That's tough.
but I took a vacation day yesterday to do an install, and it was one of those ones where the house is built on the side of a hill, and it's like 150 steps up to the front door, and then on the second story was where the mini split heat pump was going to go. And I swear to God, it took me half an hour just to walk up the stairs to breathe, because everything's got to come out of your truck for an install, and
Oh yeah.
pretty much. And but got it done and turned around, which was great. But yeah, the body's feeling a little bit sore and sorry today.
Yeah, you're gonna feel it, man. We got another entry, NYC HVAC. What's up, man?
Yo, shout out to you guys. Can you hear me well through this mic?
You sound good. Yeah.
All right, man. Shout out to Joshua. Yo, Adrian, I've been wanting to get on your channel, bro. Honestly, when I started my channel like 5 months ago, I was a huge fan of yours.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, and where are you from again?
Me from
Is it
Texas.
Texas?
So,
Yeah, Texas. Yeah.
the Rio Grande Valley down here, basically the very bottom of Texas.
Nice. Yeah, I've been in New York ever since I came from Dominican Republic for like the last 15 years. I lived in Texas for 2 years, about 5 years ago. And coming from New York, it's so interesting because, like when somebody calls for no heat, they'll wait for you outside of their car. They're very like grateful to like have you come and like fix their heat. They don't care who you are. They just want their heat going, right? When I moved to Texas, it's a whole different story. It's like you got to go fix somebody's air conditioning that's broken. So they're already in a terrible mood. There's
Okay. I
so
never
many.
thought about it like that.
Yeah, there's so many companies out there that they're like, well, the last guy did this. This is how it should be, or whatnot. And you got to go up to this very hot attic compared to like a Brooklyn basement, where you're just fine with your jacket fixing somebody's boiler.
It's like, what's a basement? We don't have those.
Seriously, it's
So what part of Texas is that?
I was actually kind of closer to Waller, where Joshua went and did the Daikin tour. I was in
Okay, up there.
Cypress. Yeah, I was over Cypress by like Friday. I got to go to Buc-ee's. Shout out to Texas and Buc-ee's. Everybody you should try.
I actually barely got into Buc-ee's a couple years ago, and it's like something we have to hit every time we go up north now, because like you see them a lot up there in Houston, in the Houston area.
Yeah, they're pretty sweet. You fill up your tank and then you get a free car wash. It's like it's so different out there in Texas. But
Do the rest of you guys know about Buc-ee's? You been to those? It's like and they're building we were just at one. It looks super small, but they're making it into the world's largest Buc-ee's. They wanted that, that title there.
I think
yeah,
the
Buc-ee's is awesome.
he's like 4 hours in Kentucky.
Oh, you got one there? Is that what you said?
No, the closest one to me is like 4 hours.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, me and my wife were talking about like making a road trip just to go to one, just so we can say we've been to one. I want to try their breakfast sandwich. I've heard it's the bomb.
I actually haven't eaten there. I get a lot of snacks there. They have good snacks, and there's so much stuff there, man. Like I said, it there. I have a friend that's in Houston now, so I go up there every now and then, and we always got to make that stop now.
That'd be awesome if you get them as a client, bro. It's like so many Buckies.
Oh, that's a lot.
Since you do the refrigeration, right? That's mainly your part. Like
Yeah,
commercial stuff.
we used to have a lot of gas stations down here, but we kind of stopped doing that. The one right now that's trying to get us in is like it's like the Stripes, but it's like a whole. It's so weird when you start working with these kinds of big chains, right? Because you never know, you know, what they what areas they cover. Who like we have pizza chains, we have other kind of fast food chains, and we have, like I said, we're doing some Stripes, and it's like, some of the managers only cover like certain cities, and then like if the next area manager, district manager, whatever you want to call them, doesn't like you or something, then they won't call you for certain cities. Like there's a whole headache with that because we have that every now and then where they want to call somebody else, and I'm like, okay, fine, try somebody else. They usually do call back, and but then like they might have a buddy that does it, and it's like, well, we're gonna call our buddy, and it's like, all right. They tried to screw you over last time, but if you want to do that, that's fine. But it's their buddy, so then they get in.
That's so huge, man. That's like my biggest pet peeve is, it's kind of like that abusive girlfriend or abusive relationship that you're getting into or something like that, where yeah, they're willing to call them back, but they have you right then and there, and they just rather go with them. It's crazy, and that's a lot of what I saw in Texas is there's so many mom and pop shops, which is what I love. Coming from New York, we're big on unions here. I don't know where everybody else is in the States, but New York is huge on unions. It's like working for a union is like you work for the Yankees, you play for the Yankees. But down there in Texas, everything is mom and pop shops. And I respect that so much because the culture is just different when it comes to residential out there. There was a lot of new constructions. What I always try to tell people is you see in New York, when you're building a house, it could take you legit maybe like 30 days, 3 weeks just to get to the foundation without it being built. But since Texas is flat and what I like to call it clay, I don't know what the dirt actually is. Like they'll build a foundation in these model homes. They'll build these model homes within, 6 months. You got a whole house already built.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of new construction and seeing a lot of. I don't know if you guys ever speak about this, but down there in Texas and other states, there's a lot of, and I'm Hispanic, I'm Dominican or whatnot, but there's a lot of like illegal workers, working for these companies, and they're just throwing in these units, and that's why the pay rate for technicians down there is a little lower. If you have your own company, honestly, that's where you make the money. But me coming from New York, being a service
Oh
tech,
yeah.
working for a mom and pop shop, I'm going down there asking like, listen, I was getting paid $45 in New York. They're like, $45. The boss is like, I don't pay myself $45. They're like, we're paying everybody per item or per job or something like that.
Okay.
It's insane.
Yeah, that's funny because that's a question I get a lot is about the pay, and I'm like my answer might not be what you want to hear because, like you said, depends on where you're at. And in Texas, it's a very like, I mean, every city, every area is different, but like I'm in the lowest market, I think, of where I'm at, and I can imagine just around Texas, it's a low market. You're not gonna get paid what you get paid in California, New York, any of those big cities.
Right.
But you can buy. I bought a house here super cheap. All my stuff is paid off. Like you got to take into account all of that stuff. Our gas is never over $3. Like
Yeah, the
there's
cost
different.
of living.
The cost of living is a big deal down here, and
Right.
you just can't expect to get high dollar and then get that low cost of living as well. So it depends on where you're at. I hate getting that question, and I always tell people like, honestly, down here you're probably gonna start well under $20 an hour.
Yeah.
15 if you don't really know anything, and then you got to work your way up. And down here, like you said, there's a lot of competition as well. We have to kind of deal with
Yeah.
that too, and you kind of shoot yourself in the foot going up against some of these other companies, and you kind of sometimes you have to write it out because a lot of them, like where I'm at, I see them pop up, but then I also see them disappear.
Right.
So you got to be on top of your stuff. Just make sure you're profiting. If you're doing your own thing, you're gonna be a small business for a good while, and then grow. So that's like I said, that's another thing that I get asked a lot, and that's it depends on where you're at.
True. Joshua, you're in Virginia, right, or something like that?
Yes, sir.
Virginia. What about you, HVAC EMT?
I'm in Louisiana.
Oh, good old Louisiana.
Yes, sir.
Beautiful. Meg, where are you at?
I'm in New Zealand, so the deep south.
New Zealand. I'm not from this country, so I'm very bad with geography. But I don't think there's a New Zealand here in the States, right?
I don't.
That's
think
like a
so,
whole
no.
other country, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like
What's
what
interesting
time is it? What time is it over there right now?
So it's Wednesday at about 4:18 in the afternoon.
Wow.
He was on the show the other week, and everybody's like, he's from the future.
But when
Brian, where are you at?
West Virginia.
West Virginia. Sorry, Meg, you go ahead. I just want to get Brian.
I'm gonna have to jump off soon. I just got the call from my partner. She's got the stomach bug that's gone around. But really quickly, when I was working in San Francisco, it's also quite a strong union town as well. I was working for Pacific Coast Train, and we had the mechanical side of the company was union based, but the control side wasn't. So that can be a little bit challenging getting on certain sites and navigating around if you're on the control side. But it was quite at the time. This is going back maybe 10 years ago. It was still quite strong union for construction base for HVAC anyway.
Yeah, I could imagine though the whole thing with the unions. I could tell you guys, like in my video, right? I have this video that just like went big or whatnot because plumbers and HVAC guys love to fight with each other. But
Yeah.
I posted this
I
video
have one
because
that's been annoying me on Instagram right now, actually.
a plumber. Let me tell you,
Sparkies are the same, aren't they? Yeah.
Yeah, it's insanity. So, but like Mick, going back to what you said, right? Like your control guys, right? We forget that controls are controlling what? They're usually controlling something mechanical.
Yeah.
So the control guys that are not union, they're like, yeah, I could fix that mechanical part, but that's the union guy's job.
Oh yeah.
So I could imagine it's a whole back and forth. Going back to the video that I posted.
Yeah.
I used to work for this union residential company. So my job was literally to get the heat going, right? So you have no heat in your house. I'm there to replace anything and get it going. Now, let's say you have a leak in your return line. Even though it could be local to the boiler, we're not supposed to touch that because you got a contract from our union so that we can service your boiler. So all the plumbers are out there on my videos always talking, oh, if you're a real HVAC guy, you could just replace that pipe, but they don't know. Like people from the South or people that don't know about union, usually it's like a liberal state that'll have like big unions or whatnot. They don't know that it's not that I can't do it, it's that it's not my union's job to do it,
Yeah. But it goes back to the old riffraff between controls techs and HVAC mechanics, right? As well. And I think what helped me in my past, I came up on the mechanical side and then got into controls, was just having that foundation of how mechanically a system should work. And then I had to learn how to program and work with the controllers to program central plants or, stuff like that. And I know going on site sometimes where you're engaged with a different mechanical contractor that did the installation and you're having to come in to tie everything together. It was definitely helpful having that mechanical background for sure. Getting those projects over the line is super helpful. And again, going on those sites where, HVAC mechanical, union based, coming in as a controls, in a shop that also had union mechanical and non-union controls guys, that there was, I guess, a meeting in the middle. The common minds got together. You had to have a little talk. You had to go for a coffee break and smoke, go to sort things out at times. But it was all good. There was no, I guess, no sabotage that was going on the sites that I was involved in anyway. It was all cool. But yeah, great to see you guys. I'm sorry I'm going to have to drop off the stream, but thanks Adrian again for putting this together.
Yeah, no worries, man.
It's great to
We
be so
gotta.
far away in another country and be able to talk about stuff like this. This is awesome. So I appreciate everyone.
Yeah,
dialing
thanks,
in
thanks for coming on. I do need to schedule you. I know we had talked about it, and I'll get on that because I've been out. I've been sick.
all good, mate. All good. Good to see you guys. Take care.
See you, man.
All right, see you, Mick.
Yo, bro, if you need him to kick me out to make space for Kraus, because I know that's my boy too. I know he'd be on here. You let me know, man. Where is he? Is he on here tonight or what?
I don't think I saw him on here today, but hopefully we'll do the HVAC night show on Thursday. Yeah, man, I'm a big fan of him too. Him and Curtis doing good stuff. That's why I wanted them in that show. And yeah, I don't think he's in here tonight though.
Oh, yeah, you're talking about the climatización guy now, right? I want to get on that, man, because I'm bilingual, so he's doing the whole Spanish thing now. I haven't seen
Oh, with
a video.
Curtis.
Yeah, Curtis, the HVAC guy, right?
Yeah, he surprised the hell out of me when he did that. Yeah.
Yeah, isn't he like a full gringo though? He's talking Spanish.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
He
bro.
said it's because he used to work at I don't know if it was an HVAC company or something else, but he used to work with a bunch of Hispanics, and that's all they spoke. So he had to learn it.
Vato de climatización. Yo, when I heard him say that, I was bugging. I was like, no way. No way. Because I also wanted to do like a Spanish channel, but I would like to join his, make like a whole big thing. That's awesome.
Yeah, he's killing it. He does. I don't know where that dude uploads so much, but it's good, right? It's a lot of content. It's good stuff. It's always good stuff too.
Yeah,
And,
he's going through something now where he got like no low internet or something like that. Where is he located? I never get that answer from like his videos.
I think he's Georgia, isn't it?
Huh?
Isn't it Georgia?
Yeah, I think so because that other guy, Francisco, is also from Georgia, and they were working together like last week, I think. Yeah, he's moving right now and stuff, so he's getting everything set up.
Nice. Would you guys consider Virginia the South or West Virginia?
Yeah, because I'm below the Mason-Dixon line, so that's like geographically speaking, that's when you start getting into the South, I guess.
It snows up there or down there, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We've had last Monday we had 2 inches of snow. I mean,
nice.
West Virginia, because I like to experience 3 of the 4 seasons in a 1-day period. It's.
What do you guys mainly use out there? Oil, gas, electric?
In West Virginia, it's gas.
Natural gas. Yeah,
it's a big natural gas producing state. A lot of oil and gas industry in the state.
Nice.
Yeah, LP was pretty big, and then whenever the whole fracking and all that stuff took off, it's pretty much, I would say 95% natural gas, maybe 5% LP. I've not ran across or know anybody that uses oil. So.
Wow. Yeah, New York is mainly gas up until you start to get out of the city. Like I'm in Westchester County, which is the first county out of New York City, because most of the people that work in New York City, they basically live out of the city.
Can't afford.
Yeah, definitely, it's terrible. But yeah, once you start to get out there, then it's mainly oil. Getting outside there. Is there a lot of steam systems out there in West Virginia?
Just in the larger, like hospitals, industrial settings, a lot of that's steam, steams and chillers, but mainly the businesses are just running. And if anything, 30. I've ran across a couple 40-ton RTUs, but that's about it. But the hospitals do use steam.
Nice. Sorry, Adrian. I talk a lot, bro, and I love to talk. Like it's it's your show,
Yeah,
bro.
don't
My
worry about
fault.
it. No, this is a hangout. It's exactly what tonight was for. I didn't get to record or do anything last week because like I said, I was sick and stuff. So I had to bump some people over.
Nice. How do you do that? Let's talk about that. How do you carry like a chest rig or do you just do it like off of your phone mostly?
Most of it is off the phone. And I like when I started this, that's all I had, right? It was a phone, and then I got an iPad, so I still kind of edit on my iPad and stuff. I'm currently trying to
Yeah.
transition over to like I bought an action camera, one of the DJI ones, and then I actually just recently picked up another one that I got in today. So I'll get into like other stuff because like I picked up one of these, what do you call it, Osmo DJI
Nice.
cameras. So
Yeah, those are sweet.
I'm trying to set up some more stuff so I can just to make it easier because like I mean honestly the easiest thing is to use your phone. That's why if anybody like asks
100%. Yeah.
if anybody asks me about starting content, I'm like go for it, right? You have your phone in your pocket. Um,
Right.
even people that just do like maintenance or guys that are new, like I had Johnny Castro the other week. What kind of camera you got there?
This is my new toy. When I went to Daikin and I brought GoPros, they were
Yeah.
making fun of me. So I bought it was a Canon G70. They were literally making fun of us.
I just don't want to show up because like I do commercial. I'm in the buildings a lot. If I'm on a
Yeah.
rooftop, it's different. I'm by myself, but I don't want to have like a big ass camera like in people's faces. So like that's the one I just showed you is probably the biggest one that I'll use. And then like I said, I'm trying to do the whole chest strap thing to where I can actually show more of the work that I do. Because like I said, we need more content. So like if anybody, like I said, Johnny was on here the other week and he just started a YouTube channel too. I'm like, yeah, that's awesome. Like go for it. Even if you're new, if you just do maintenance, whatever it is, like there's somebody out there that does the same thing that you do, and they're gonna benefit from watching that. So we need more content and all that, but like it just my phone was getting full from the memory, the photos, the videos, and I was like, I need to start using something else because like I was trying to put content out weekly and stuff, so I need to get back on that.
Yeah, if you have an iPad Pro, you can like I do. You can get an external hard drive and just connect it right to it, dump everything from there to there. But I've spoken about that to a few of my friends. I tell them that like the saddest thing will be that we grow up. I have two kids. I have two boys. One is 8, one is 4. When they get to be about my age, maybe like I'm 31, but when they're like 20 years old, they're gonna grow up and say, "Dad, you mother effer, you were there in the genesis of YouTube, and you did not think of creating a little channel about what you do." It's like because if we're looking 20 years from now, our channels are gonna be well above the 100,000s. When I made the channel like 5 months ago, I said by my birthday, I wanted to have 100 subscribers, and then I had one of the shorts video just like boom and just go crazy, and people were just chatting at me or whatever. And that's one of the things because we make content. We're not out there in booty shorts, right? We're not out there in ladders. We're not doing TikTok videos trying to get people's attention. We're actually putting something that people can search. I'm having trouble with this here.
Hey,
Oh, let me.
speak for yourself. I wanted to show up and be.
You beat me to it. I was going to say, speak for yourself. Some of us wear booty shorts.
Hey, listen, you'll get a lot of clickbait. It's good. The clickbait is good. If a restaurant wants to look up good restaurant tags, they could look up Adrian, see what he's like, see what another person is like, see the treatment they're getting, what kind of service they're getting.
I
And
actually have managers that have seen me. They're like, I show up to a job site and to work on a walk-in or whatever, and they're like, I've seen your YouTube channel, I've seen you online, I've seen
that's awesome.
I love the work that you do and how you handle yourself and all that. I've actually had that interaction. And I thought it like tripped me out, but that's why I try to be in mine, I try to be respectful. And it's because I run a business as well. So like I can't
Right.
be bad mouthing anybody. That's bad business. But I try not to show too much as far as like where I'm at and talk bad about anybody. It's just something that I've had to learn over the years, and then that's how I conduct, my channel now. And like you never know who's watching because, like I said, I had a few managers that have seen me, um, and then even my dad has told a few of his because he's friends with everybody there at the different restaurants, and he's like, yeah, my son's on YouTube and this and that. So I have to watch out, and I've had a lot of guys from my area, like local techs, a lot of new guys that are watching too, and they'll know. Some people have even taken pictures of me and stuff.
Oh wow,
Uh,
I haven't gotten there yet. I want to be. I'm
yeah,
like
they're
dying
like,
for somebody to take a
is
picture.
this? They're like, is this you? And I'm like, yeah. Like, where the hell are you?
That's hilarious.
I want to give a quick shout out to my man Nasty HVACR. He's going to be on Misfits, so everybody better show up for him.
What's up? Is that this next one, or is
I
it like months
think,
in advance?
I think, no, I think I think he said it was Saturday.
Oh, okay.
I think this Saturday, and then he can correct us in the chat. Yeah, that's going to be a good one.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love having the conversations with anybody. Like, there's always going to be an open invite on the Reliable show as well. I'm not really good at booking, so I'm not booked out that far. But I know Brian, we've talked about you coming on. Same thing with you, Josh. I know scheduling is very hard because we all have our own jobs. I do a lot. Like there was a few weeks where I was working overtime and stuff. So it's just whenever you guys can, you guys are an open invitation.
Yeah, I totally. When I say I'm gonna do something, I'll do it. So yeah, we'll make it happen.
Yeah, man. Love. It's just a good excuse for me to talk to a lot of the guys online, get to know them, and then like everybody else. That was the whole purpose of that. Is I got a couple of requests, right? Like, oh, we have this guy on, we have that guy on, and believe me, I've asked a lot of the bigger ones. Not all. I've been rejected. It's whatever. Usually
Yeah, definitely.
they usually have a good excuse. They don't want to be on camera anymore. There's a lot of guys that have not, or that have kind of disappeared too, and I've tried reaching out to them. But I'll
Like
take.
who disappeared?
There's
Because I
there's a
probably
bunch.
watched it. I'm just wondering.
Yeah, there's a
Throw
bunch
a
of
name out
disappeared.
there. Who's disappeared?
Oh, the one that I got asked about, but I don't know him that well, is Zach, the quality HVAC.
Oh,
It's been a few
quality
months
HVAC.
too.
Yeah,
Tito, everybody remembers Tito.
yeah.
What was that other one? Rookie Refrigeration has had a lot of supermarket stuff too.
Yeah, there's this one guy who's new.
I think Rookie's back, or at least partially. I think he went in business for himself. I think.
Yeah, I think I saw him in a truck working and doing his own thing.
Yeah.
The man, who was I thinking of right now? But yeah, there's a few of them, and then there's like us now, like Kraus, Curtis, all the guys, Josh.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
I've been doing. I had my Type 1 for several years, but I was just doing coolers when I worked at Coke, and I started watching your stuff, Adrian, and I watched a lot of Josh's stuff and Curtis and Kraus and all those guys, and just lit a fire underneath of me. And like I said, I told my wife, I said, I think I know what I want to get into, and I went and actually I was off work for like 2 months this year because issue with my foot in the hospital and all that jazz. But I made good use of my time off, man, because I studied and got my EPA Universal. And
Hey, Brian, I would like to indulge in that. There's a saying, right, that goes, you got to fake it till you make it, right? And I don't know. Even when I went to Texas, I have not seen any company out there require anything higher than a type 1 unless you're industrial, right? If you're industrial, then they're going to want that type 3. But if you take a look, right? I don't know. I should probably block the numbers. But this is my type. This is my EPA card. You guys see that out there?
Yeah.
Can you guys see that I sharpied in that second stick on there?
Type 2.
So obviously the EPA is probably looking at us because we're an HVAC freaking channel. But honestly, no company out there that's residential has ever asked me
Yeah.
they asked me for the card. Obviously, you're gonna want to have something to show that you're certified, because in reality, all this allows you to do is to buy and reclaim the refrigerant. You know, so like I don't know how it is down there in Virginia, but like I never needed the type 2 to work in residential, even though you're supposed to, because anything over what, 5 pounds, right?
Yeah.
5 pounds, you need a type 2. But just with the experience, it always gets me through the door. Even at union jobs that I've had, it's like I'm supposed to have a type 2, but as long as I show them my type 1 and with my Sharpie in type 2, like, you
I
know, you gotta
look,
fake it till you make it.
look, I knew it. EPA showed up in the chat. I was gonna say that. I was just letting you talk. I was like, you already called them out. You're coming in.
Yo, that's so funny.
That always happens
Yo,
when somebody brings it up. So
that's hilarious. Yeah, EPA, you know you're out there. You can come look at my logs. As long as you log what you're doing, you know, whatever it is, it's like no company out there. On top of that, I never in New York.
it's a shame. It's a shame, but yeah, you're totally right. Because I was when I got into it, I was like trying to get everything right. The EPA, I got my universal. I got because in Texas you got to be registered. All they care about is that $20 a year or whatever it is to be registered.
For the
That
TDLR or something like that, right?
yeah, the TDLR.
Yeah,
Um,
I had to get that
if you
down there.
pay $20, you get a card that says you can do AC work. Now you're not
Right.
supposed to be like in business for yourself or anything like that, but you can go do work under somebody. There's just registered, which just means that you paid the $20. Yeah, and then they're certified. That means you took a little test and you have like another level to it. And then there's the contractor's license, which is the one that I went after, as soon as I could, because I wanted everything. I wanted to make sure I had everything. I thought you really needed everything as well, but
Yeah,
honestly, they don't really care. Like
they
no,
don't, and it's
they hire everybody,
yeah,
which is a good thing, right? If you want to learn on the job and all that. But like
yeah, it is.
at the supply houses, I got so pissed because they never asked anybody for. I think only one place I went to, but I was out of town. They asked me for my license and everything, my EPA, so I could
Yeah,
buy like refrigerant and stuff. But like
yeah,
most places, you're buddy with them. They'll let you buy whatever.
yeah. And remember what I was saying earlier about that they hire like illegal workers or whatnot down there in Texas. These guys are putting in condensers. Yo, I'm telling you, and I respect it because those are my amigos, mi compadres. But bro, they could do better work than I can. You know what I'm saying? Those guys with no papers, no EPA, they don't even have a damn tax ID. But let me tell you, those guys could do better work than I can with no EPA card, and nobody bats an eye. The one thing that I used to love about residential companies out there is like these guys, they get their own pickup trucks, and then they look like lowriders because they load them up with
Yeah,
like everything on their
that's
trucks, and you
common.
just see them.
That's common
So
around here. You see
common.
the
You
trucks
never see that in New York. It's like
or
crazy.
like even like the I don't know what they're like SUVs, like whatever they can, they load up everything
Yeah,
in those vehicles and then they strap the pipe on the roof or something. Yeah,
yeah.
you see it all
And
the
thank
time.
God that the EPA doesn't really like hammer down, because in reality, that's just more government, right? And Texas is big on, leave us the fuck alone. So it's like EPA who?
Who remembers the AK HVAC? That was the one that I started with.
Isn't that is that the guy that works
Uh,
at now?
Navec, Andrew Greaves.
I think
He
it's
he works at Navec now. He had a whole YouTube channel that blew up. I used to watch his because he had all the van setups, all the cool stuff in his van. And then he started doing like tour reviews, and then like he disappeared. And now, if you go to AHR or any of the trade shows, you'll see him there demoing all the NAVAC stuff. So he like moved all the way up to that position that he's at now.
I'll show you what I've been up to. The reason I haven't been posting a bunch on Instagram is I've been busy with this. And
You got your books.
yeah, this.
Oh, that's the real stuff.
And
I got mine in my bookshelf back here.
When I went to school, those are the classes that I just wanted them to be done right there.
Oh
The
yeah,
duck
like,
calculator. Oh God, I'm gonna have nightmares tonight. Thanks, Brian.
this book right here is awesome. I love this book. And shout out to Brett Wetzel with Advanced Refrigeration Podcast. He's helped me out a lot. I've actually talked to him on the phone with some issues and stuff. And anyways, he sent me a book by Dick Wirtz, Refrigeration for AC Service. Yes.
still got all mine.
Yes. Dude, I have read that book. I'm like third time through. And each time I read through it, I find something new, because I don't know. I could sit there. That's like, I know Jennifer Manzo likes to read books. That's she likes to read novels. That's my novel. I don't know. I guess I'm a geek, but yeah.
Is that the one that you got? It's the one that everybody recommends by Dick. What's his name? Dick Worse.
Works.
Commercial refrigeration for air conditioning techs.
Yeah. Yep. That's the one. I got a digital copy of it that he sent me, and man, that's an awesome read.
Yeah, like when you need something that you kind of already know your basics, or like it says you're coming from air conditioning. This has everything, and I don't remember what year I got this in, but it's super old.
Yeah, it's like my security blanket. It's if I start having an issue, I can pull it up on my work iPad and I can go, okay, that makes sense now. Okay, because I'm like one of these people. I got to know how everything works.
Yeah, you're good because when I got out of school, that's the last thing I wanted to do is keep reading books. So you guys are much better than I am in that sense because I have not read books. Manuals I do read, for Steam. That's the one thing everybody tells me that there's this one Steam book that I gotta get. It's like The Art of Steam or something like that by somebody. But
yeah.
I probably got to get that book. But even if I'll probably get it just to be a bookshelf show off, but I probably won't read it. But that's good. Trust me. When I went to school, the duct sizing and duct calculator, sheet metal. So you're working with a lot of sheet metal, Brian?
Not a whole lot, but all those books are for my state certification. I take it.
Oh, okay.
And yeah.
So besides the EPA, you need a state certification in West Virginia?
In West Virginia, yeah, state certification. I got lucky because where I had my type 1, all I had to do was to go be able to take the test was show them 2,000 hours of work. So I didn't have to do the technician in training certification.
Yeah.
So with that, I take this and I'll be a journeyman, and then it's like 5,000 hours and then another test to get your master's. But I'm far off from that. So
it's very interesting how states works because when I was in Texas and I first moved down there, I was like, yo, I'm coming with like 10 years of experience. I've been doing this since I was like 15. I went to the high school I went to was a heating. It was a tech school. What do they call it? A trade school. So I've been doing HVAC since high school. So when I got to Texas, I'm like, I got 10 years experience. I'm gonna open up my own company when I get there, right?
Yeah.
And what does Texas say? Boom. No, you can't. You have to work under somebody here for 4 years. And I like that because you know what? That protects Texas because Texas is big on Texas and forcing somebody to work. There was ways around it. If you got money, you could get a lawyer to say, okay, I come from New York with this experience, blah blah blah. But they're really big on you need to work under somebody for 4 years. And Adrian, you could correct me if I'm wrong.
No, that's right.
That's just what I've heard. I went to every supply, so like, no, yeah, you can't just open up your own company. And being that New York has like so many laws and this, all that, you would think that New York has something like that, kind of like, like Brian, West Virginia, I guess, has that. You need to have a certification, I guess, to open up your own company, a state certification just besides your EPA. But New York doesn't. New York does not have, if you get a general contractor's license in New York, besides having your master plumber, you could replace boilers. You could buy a whole boiler and air conditioning and replace it in somebody's house. As long as you're not in a major city or a county where they require permits to be pulled. But even when you get if you need permits, all you need is a general contractor's license. You don't really need to have like 4 years working under somebody to open up your company or a state certification. The only time they require a master license, master plumbing license, is if you're dealing with the gas main or the water main. Anything after that, you're free to play with here in New York, which is crazy. But I did like that about New York. It was sad for me because, of course, I wanted to open up my own company. And
Yeah.
people in Texas, they like New Yorkers, I always like to say, because we're always like this. I don't know if you could tell, but like I'm like fast speaking. I don't know if it's because I'm Dominican or whatnot, but when I went to Texas, everybody's very calm, collective, relaxed. And New Yorkers, as much as Texas likes to make fun of New Yorkers, they like us as workers because we're used to like 10-minute increments. We got to do this, we have to do that, and it works with the Texas work mode out there.
Yeah, definitely. Did any or the rest of you guys, did y'all do schooling or did you learn on the job?
I actually went to school to be an electrician originally. The trade school I went to did not have HVAC. And then chasing jobs and all that fun stuff, I found HVAC. So
Good old
Nice.
electrician. That's what my dad does, or he used to do. Then he got into the food service industry and found out there's a whole lot of money to be made there. So
If you guys can, since you guys have your own companies out there and everything, I'm very well off, like Griffin Air, Reliable, and everything like that. These high schools specifically, these public schools, like in New York, for example, their programs, as you guys know, education is being cut in every corner. So, like, if you guys do have a local school that has an HVAC program, even if they do oil and you have nothing to do with oil, even I'm telling you, when I was in school, we were begging for like a broken down circulator, right? Because you go to school to troubleshoot. You can't troubleshoot something that's working already. So they actually need anything, like even used copper. If you don't want to, if you don't want to go to the scrapyard, if you feel like donating, you can try to just look up whatever school's close to you. They will truly appreciate it. They'll put you as a sponsor or whatnot. Yeah, if you guys could try to do that. I'm
not
just saying
mine.
that because I came from that.
I've reached out to our local school so many times, and they have no interest. I've offered to
Oh,
give them free stuff. I've offered, um, you know, I've offered to pay to get them all like hats or tools or all kinds of
yeah.
things, and half the time I can't even get a call back. They're just they just I don't know.
Wow. Virginia must be taking care of their schools, their trade schools at least.
I don't know. I'm sure it's probably you got to know somebody because I see some of our competitors. They'll be like, "Hey, we just hired this kid from this class from the school," and all they'll post on social media and stuff. And I don't
Oh,
feel the
yeah.
love. I don't feel the love. So
That has to do with a lot of politics. Probably the principals is that's probably his cousin's company or something like that. It's usually something that shady. It's when it gets to schools and boards and all those things, it gets very shady. It could get very shady.
Lots of nepotism.
Yeah, that's so true. And it's sad because I mean, if you're offering it, Griffin, like, why would they say no? A hat, a tool, a screwdriver. It's like, get it. That's insane.
Hey man, the EPA wants to see that card again.
Oh, I'll show you the card again, EPA. You want a screenshot? I'll cover my number. See, I'm a type 2. You see that? That's officially type 2 from EPA. It's just been in my wallet so long that it's smooched off. Now, I'm fully universal now. This is my old card. I actually took a test by Ferris Institution or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
This is from when I went to Lincoln Tech. This thing is useless, but I always keep it in my wallet to remind me that you can fake it to make it, guys. All right, you can definitely fake it to make it.
Yeah,
That's
yes, sir.
I'd like to ask the group a question on that because I did the Ferris State University certification as well, and I thought it was easy. Like
They send you a take-home test for the core and type 1. I thought that was illegal. When I went to school, it was like, dude, a take-home test? What? It's insane. Did you get a take-home test, Joshua?
No, and that's why I'm asking because the class that I took, they essentially said, hey, you don't need to study this whole book. We're going to give you the answers. Here's the answers. You're going to be asked this on the test. You're going to be asked, and it was very easy. And if you just paid attention, you would pass the test, and it was great, you know. And that's why what brings me to my question, because I have an employee that wants to get his license, and what he's looking into is just going to a local supply house, and they give him some sort of book to take home, and he studies this
No.
I
That's
did
a lot
that.
harder. That's a little harder, I would say.
test, and I'm like, that doesn't sound as easy or fun to me at all.
John,
For the EPA, I took mine at Johnstone. They gave me like a study pamphlet and a CD-ROM, and then like I uploaded on my computer. Basically gives you the test. It's supposed to be like a pre-test. It was the same exact answers. I just memorized it and went back, took the test there, and got it.
and you can get a hold of have your coworker or your guy you just hired or whatever, Josh. Have him get a hold of Jennifer Manzo, and that SkillCat app. I think they charge $10 now. It was free when I did it, and I thought, oh well, I didn't know how I felt about it at first, but I'm telling you what, that whole program, it's awesome, and it was free for me at the time when I did it. That's how I got my universal. Was just went through that. It's really it's the real deal. It's good. I'm just not saying that just because I'm friends with Jen, but just it's good stuff. And she could point him in the right direction and stuff. She's helps everybody out. So I recommend that.
I want to say two things. The thing with Ferris University is that for $40, they'll send you a core and type 1 to your house. So you obviously pass that, right? And then and then when you have to take the test, you just have to focus on type 2 and type 3 if you want the full universal. So instead of, having to take 100 questions, you just, after you mail in your core and type 1, you'll be certified for that. Then you just have to focus on 25 questions, which is a lot easier. And another thing is, let's speak about this, guys, right? It's kind of like the gun industry, right? We're all in the AC industry, but none of us are FFL dealers. Like, none of us are proctors to take the test. Do you guys know what the qualifications is to be a proctor?
I'm sure.
Neither did I until a week ago. It's nothing. You know what it is? You get a take-home test to become a proctor, and then you could charge people $150 to take the test with you. It's insanity. Like, when I asked the proctor that I took my type 2 and type 3, because all they had to do was transfer my core and type 1 over to Ferris University. It's a take-home test, guys, and like nobody bats an eye. We could just talk to ESCO or Ferris University or whoever Johnstone gets there from. Like, these guys that are going from Johnstones, they're corporate guys. They have nothing to do with AC most of the time. There's just, like corporate guys who take this take-home test. So that's one thing that I want to have under my belt. It's like to become a proctor, basically the person that gives people the test. It's a take home test. It's very. I mean, it's a take home test. I don't have to say it's easy. You know, it's a take home test. It's crazy.
Yeah, it was super easy to get. And you take it once, you're good. And like I said, I took mine at Johnstone. I don't even think they proctored it. Like I took it in the back. There was nobody there, and I've heard from others that if they go in there, because people go in there asking all the time about the EPA or whatever, and I've heard that they'll help them out themselves. They're like, oh, it's easy. We'll pass you. We'll help you out and this and that. So that's whatever.
And that comes with a retake, right? I believe from Johnstone. Like if you fail it once, they
think
give you
so.
a retake.
I think so, but like you shouldn't have to.
Yeah. Well, I failed my first time. Well, I was 19 and I didn't really give a hoot when I first did
Mm.
it. 19 in trade school was a hell of a time for for little words. So I didn't really care. I failed it, and that's when I got my type 1 in core. I was just like, "Oh, look, I'm certified." And literally, I became universal. No lie, like what, a year and a half ago, and I've been doing this for 15 years. So 13 years with a core in type 1, doing residential, buying refrigerant, replacing units that are well over 10 pounds. It's I just did it for, what do you say? My wife. I used to tell my wife that I was universal until she saw my APA card. She said, "No, you're not. You're a type 1." And I said, "You know what? I'll show you I'm Mr. Universal." So I took the test. But again, if you take a take home test and you're type 1 certified, all you have to worry about is type 2 and type 3. If you want to go for type 3, because type 3 is industrial. I mean, I have not met anybody, even on YouTube, who does industrial. I've seen them do heavy commercial, but I haven't seen anybody on YouTube working on a lot of chillers, like specifically. Yeah, you see some videos on chillers, but I don't see anybody specifically just doing chillers.
Check out Jason Johnson. JJ.
Jason Johnson, yeah. Adrian had him on the show. He does, but
He,
does he post a lot? I try to go on his channel. I don't know if he's posting a lot
Jason
about that.
doesn't post a ton, but he posts. He does chiller. He does the big boy stuff. Stuff I want to get with you someday. The stuff he
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, him and Holden,
Yeah.
and he made that comment earlier that if he ever needs anything, he just calls Holden, and that dude teaches as well, so he knows a lot.
Hey Adrian, I'm gonna have to bow out the video.
Yeah, man.
Battery's just about dead.
Oh,
Yeah.
no problem. We'll probably wrap this up in a few minutes anyway.
Thanks for having me on, and I'll get with you and we'll work out a schedule when I can come on.
No problem, man. See you.
Nice meeting you,
Brian.
Brian.
Yeah, nice meeting you guys. See you, Josh, my neighbor in the south.
All right, man. Later.
Later.
Yeah, matter of fact,
Jason
I'm
does some good stuff. Jason has the best radio voice, I said when I first saw him on your channel. That dude could talk about anything. I just want to listen.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he took off. He was in the chat earlier. There was when I had him on nights, there was an echo, but I got an email. I meant to tell him that there was it was an Android issue, some sort of update or something. So I was like, I was gonna tell him he can come back on another time. But I'll have him on at some point. Because that dude does a lot of stuff too. Like I said, the chillers, he's pretty smart too. And then he works for Holden from HVAC time. So
Yes, sir.
Nice. HVAC EMT. Well, how's the HVAC stuff down there in Louisiana, bro?
Dude, like during the summer, we end up getting freaking slammed. I mean, we were slammed this summer with people calling saying the unit's not working when it's doing all it can with this 105, 115 degree heat that we had. It was freaking nuts.
do you get like a relief period in between?
No, sir. I
Like
mean,
what-
it was constant. The calls kept coming in. We had 3 systems, die on us that we had to replace in the middle of this heat.
Damn.
That was the worst part of it.
We
Let
had
me
a
ask
lot
you
of
this.
compressors give out this year.
Yes, sir. We had a 1996 carrier system we put in back in '96 that ended up giving out on the guy in about 105-degree heat.
Oh.
But,
and I bet he was surprised when you told him he needed a new unit.
boy, he was pissed too. And matter
I
of fact,
love those
he
people.
had one of my competitors come out there to do the service. He and the guy that destroyed the compressor after he had his hands on it. But matter of fact, on NYC HVAC, I'm actually Type 2 and Type 3 certified by the EPA.
Nice. So you're missing the Type 1.
Yeah, I failed the Type 1. I ended up losing my wallet with my EPA license in it.
Ah, shit.
That's
Did you put your if you don't put your social on the test, then you have to retake the whole test.
Crap. I think
You
I
get
did
what
end
I'm
up doing
saying?
that. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
I hope the
not, though.
EPA is out of the chat by now, but that's why if you lose your card and you
Damn,
don't put your
man.
social in the test, you have to retake the whole test. But if you put your social, then you can literally just get it online from whatever website institution
Right,
you
Quick
got it from.
Products is who I took it through.
Yeah,
Yeah.
me too.
Yes, sir. I'm going to my NATE certification next.
Oh, you're
Oh,
Nate.
That's my
I
next goal.
bought my books for the NATE. I just never took it.
Yeah,
Honestly, what do you need that for? I thought that was just like the icing on the cake, but like
The little
Right.
patch, man.
Yeah, if
No,
you
no,
want to be a
that's-
factory
that's
rep,
basically
you want to be
it,
like
right?
a factory rep with a Carrier Bryant ICP. They require that.
oh, they
Especially with York,
require
too.
that.
If you want to be a York certified dealer, they require the
Oh,
NATE
okay.
certification,
Oh, okay.
including
okay,
Arex
okay.
manufacturing as well. That's one of the things you can do to become a level 2, level 3, level 4, level 5 dealer, certified contractor with Arex. Matter of fact, Adrian, actually,
Oh.
actually found Arex through you, through one of your videos on Facebook. They had shouted you out. That's how
On
I
their
found them, 'cause of
Facebook?
you. Yes, sir. You're on one of their videos.
Man, I lost touch with them. They were supposed to send me some more stuff to show or
Yes,
something,
sir.
but
Matter of fact, I love the product.
yeah, they're really cool because I think Rector Seal has one too, but it looks way too big.
Mhm.
I do like the look and
Yeah,
now they have like a retrofit kit
yeah.
that
Which is
snaps into
Titan
place.
outlet, they call it.
Yeah,
That thing is nice.
It's a cool product, and I don't do a lot of residential, so that's why I haven't shown it too
Right.
much. I'm actually gonna put one here at the house. I had a crap load of boxes sent to me because I won that competition from them. And it was funny. I had a whole bunch of people pissed at me, and I was like, it was literally a popular or like a vote type of deal.
Mhm.
I was like, I just got as many people as I could to vote, and I won. Like, it wasn't because my work was
Right.
better than somebody else's. I was like there was like a grand prize money, and we got the product and all that. But I do like it too, but I don't do residential that much. So
Right. Yes, sir.
I actually have a company that just reached out to me. That's they're called Goose Vents, I believe, and they're gonna
Yeah, I've heard of
be
them.
that's more of like a rooftop unit. Like for me, it would be for walk-ins and stuff to
Mhm.
kind of have that nice professional look, I guess, on a rooftop unit. Or like
That's
split
impressive.
systems, because I deal with split systems that are on roofs too.
Yes, sir.
You've heard of them, Josh?
Yeah, I had a meeting with them a couple months ago.
Of course you did.
They they basically didn't want to sponsor us because of all my content that's geared towards homeowners, which is fine.
So that's actually an issue that comes up.
Oh yeah, I mean if they're a B2B type business and they sell mostly to to us, to heating and air guys,
Yeah.
sometimes it's just not a fit. We've probably had that multiple times. Probably at least a dozen times with sponsors and stuff. Some of our sponsors, even though they're B2B, like it, because some of them, they like when Measure Quick sponsored a couple videos, we were able to say to our viewers, hey, there's, guys that do use this and guys that don't. Maybe you should choose guys that do, kind of deal.
Right.
However you can spin it.
Yep. But that actually brings up something that I thought about a moment ago about maybe mentioning to you guys and anybody in the chat too. Is I don't know how we could set this up, but it would be nice to have some sort of way that we all stay connected when it comes to some of these sponsors. You know, I've got a handful of sponsors that we just simply either can't work with because of you know, an exclusivity agreement that I might have in place with another company. And it would be nice for us to have some sort of circle of friends or network. I know Adrian and we've talked about this before, I think on some level, but just some way that we could just be like, you know, hey, I can't work with this brand, but you know, maybe, you know, one of you guys can, you know, kind of deal.
That's the other thing that I tell people, like, stop doing those promotions basically for like a free hat or shirt, right? Like a lot of companies and this year, because I do talk to like my other the other members of the HVAC nights, you know, we talk about that stuff. I try to keep in touch with as many people as I can. And that stuff comes up and I'm like, yeah, like, you know, I'll ask them about it, sponsorships and stuff like that. There's money. That's another reason why I tell people just post, because you never know. Francisco asked me the same thing at the last AHR. He was very hesitant on it, and guess what? He blew up. He's like at 30,000 followers on Instagram, another 30,000 over on Facebook. Like he's just been posting, and he's doing really well. And now he's getting his own sponsorship stuff and all that. So, but yeah, there needs to be more of us talking to each other about that kind of stuff, because can't be doing it for, like, if you're gonna take this content creation serious, you know, there's other avenues, and a lot of the stuff that I do I get paid for too. And I know Josh probably has a lot of experience with sponsors and stuff. There's a whole other side of this, you know, online, YouTube, all that.
Yeah, I mean, I would just recommend to any of you guys that are making content, definitely treat it like a business, because it is. And
that's exactly what I thought of when I started mine.
Yep. Yes, sir. And I'll say this: I make more money doing this, making YouTube videos, than I do fixing air conditioners now.
That's
and
crazy.
I don't say that bragging. I say that because, you know, it does frustrate me when I hear other guys that they'll say, "Oh yeah, they sent me a free hat," and I'm like, dude, you know.
Yeah.
These companies, they can either go advertise on TV and spend 50 grand and 90% of the people that see their ad are not in the market, or they can advertise with you and only spend, say, 5 grand, not a free hat, $5,000. You're happy. And all the people that watch that video are going to buy that product.
Yeah, they're in the market.
Yeah, it's a very target focused niche.
Yeah, I will say, like, when
That's great advice right there.
When I started, I took those, right, and I used them as practice, right? Because you're gonna get a lot of like Amazon emails, like, oh, we'll send you this tool here, a tool there. I use those as practice at first, and now I have a ton of emails that pile up just because I don't want to do them. Or, you know, it's like if one of them wants to talk a promotion price, then we'll talk. But I get tons of messages daily, like, what do you recommend for this? A lot of new guys will ask me, like, what are the tools that I need to start to get into the business? You know, they go to us a lot for these things, and it's like, and then when you start seeing like your favorite YouTuber, like I watch like Chris Stevens, or, you know, like we were talking about Tito earlier, like you kind of like see what they're using in their videos, and then you want to go out and buy it. So, like I said, that's a whole other topic. I don't know, like we can have that whole discussion.
We just need to start a pyramid scheme, you know. You guys, you know, you send the money up, and then, you know, we'll get the spot. You know, I'm just kidding, but no, I do think. I mean, I've got one sponsor right now that I cannot work with them, but they want to do something, and so, you know, I think that, you know, if I find the right friend, the right circle of friends, it could work out,
Yes,
So
sir.
Yeah, it's like there's a lot of invoicing businesses right now too, and I get a lot of messages from them, and I'm like, I'm already with Jobber. I love that app, and they treat me very well because they do pay me for like any little video that I do for them. And then I've even done like it's so weird, like the stuff that you get into doing this social media stuff. Because I did a photo shoot, and then I did a video shoot for them, and I was like, this is so like weird to me, but
It's a weird
you know,
business. Yeah, it's a new
Right.
business. That's why,
Yeah, matter of fact, on that topic, Adrian, I've actually sold over $10,000 worth of equipment with Ferguson HVAC department. This year's been a good year for us, especially for Comfort Medic AC and Heating, which is Malo's small business. We've had a really good year this year, and they actually
that's
won
awesome.
us to host a sales class on how to sell the high end ICP carrier equipment.
And see,
That's what my reps
that's
are
what
telling
people
me.
don't that's what people don't see either. Like it could be social media, it could be like your sales, whatever it is. There's money to be made in so many different like avenues in HVAC. Like it's not just the work that you do. It's what you sell, what you do elsewhere,
Right.
and a lot of like that's really good with you guys that you guys are making or doing really well this year because like I value my family time. I'm not going to be working out there 24/7 like some
Right.
other guys that they're not in the chat tonight, but um they want to work 24/7 and make that money, which is fine, but there's other ways to make passive
Right.
income or do it other ways, and
Yes, sir.
it's just up to you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Matter of
you got
fact,
to work for that money, man.
yes, sir. My father's been in the trade since 1968. My father's been doing this.
God bless.
55
That's
years of this
awesome.
crap. Matter of fact, that's what got me interested in this trade was my
It's
father when I was 16.
it's a love-hate relationship, this trade,
Fine.
but
Ain't that the truth?
you at the end of the day, I'm thankful for it.
It's an
Yes,
honest
sir.
living. Have you guys ever watched the movie Blow?
No, sir.
I think
I
so.
haven't.
Blow with like this famous guy. He goes from like California. He ends up selling a lot of coke or whatnot.
I don't think I haven't watched the whole thing, but yeah, I know which one you're talking about.
Well, the reason why I reference it is because his father, right? It's like this very honest, stood up guy. And the very first sentence of the movie is literally, you can look it up or just YouTube the very beginning of the movie Blow. It's my father owns a HVAC plumbing business. So like the whole movie just sets up this guy as a heating and plumbing business to be this honest, because it's an honest living, I don't know HVAC EMT how many classes you can give, but when you're a good salesman, like your company could be great salesman. It's you that is a great salesman. People like you, when you go to their house, you're selling
Right.
yourself. This is why you retain these customers. You could give 100 classes to one person and they may improve their sales,
Right.
but there's different tactics how to go about it.
Right.
But that's the one thing where I fail. Like
Mhm.
when I went to Texas, everything is commission based. Every company out there, it's like, listen, you could be the guys that are making $500 a week, or you could be the guys that are making, $2,000 a week or whatever. It's up to you
Yes, sir.
to really make the money. And being a New Yorker from a union, at least, we don't sell shit. We're not salesmen. We're great
Right.
people. I could tell they'll love me. I have people when I went to Texas, as I do still in New York, that say, I only want this technician in my house. I don't want anybody else. Now, could I sell them something? Possibly, because I already have that trust.
Right.
But in Texas, and I would include the southern states, I would
Right.
guess.
Yes, sir.
Everything is commission based, and that's the one thing that I lack. I am a terrible salesman, terrible,
sir.
terrible salesman. And down there in Texas, they have a lot of recruiters. And before I moved down there, that's the one question that he asked me on the phone when I was in New York. He's like, "How are you? How good are you at sales?" And I told him straight up, I'm like, "I'm not a salesman." And they're like, "Well, you're going to Texas. Get that out of your vocabulary. You are a salesman." They're like, if you
Right.
want to get hired, you have to tell them that you're gonna be able to sell because they are looking
Right.
for these
Yes, sir.
commissions.
Matter of fact, I got a little something to share with you, Adrian. Yeah, I have a customer I take care of that I do work for. He owns a Family Dollar business in Kenner, Louisiana. They've been calling another company, a national company, and they just ended up destroying this unit and charged them a little over $12,000 in repairs they needed. You know what they did do is they changed both compressors in the unit, crossed the refrigerant lines first and second stage, and didn't label what refrigerant was in the system.
Mm,
You know, by law, you're supposed to label these units whenever you convert them over to a new Freon or refrigerant.
yeah.
And they didn't. But as I got deeper into that system, I'm just like, holy shit, this thing was so freaking badly butchered up. It wasn't even funny. And actually told the business owner himself what these guys are doing to this system. So we told them, put a sign up stating, if you put your hands on this system, we will press charges against you, because you're not
Damn.
allowed to touch these units by permission of the landlord. So he's willing to press charges against these guys because they don't have a clue
Sheesh.
what they're doing.
No, and I actually see that a lot where they don't like label stuff. It gets on my nerves, and
Sure.
especially like the old R22 stuff. 'Cause then
Right.
I can tell. It takes me a while, but I can tell that it's been mixed or something.
Right.
And
You can
I
always
would see
tell.
it. I would always see it a lot, and I'm like, nope, we're pulling the whole charge, weighing in something new, because
Yes, sir.
it'll run, but it won't cool, and there's
Right.
other issues.
Yes, sir.
And you can just imagine, they probably didn't vacuum, and all it
Right. None
adds
of
up.
these guys know that crap nowadays.
Vacuum? What
Yeah.
vacuum?
Right.
That's what that's. What vacuum?
All right, guys.
Triple
All right, guys. So
evacuation. Crazy.
we're at an hour and 40 minutes. I don't want to stay up too long. I know Josh is.
Right.
What time is it over there? Like midnight?
It's almost midnight.
I don't
Yes,
want to
sir.
keep you up too late, man. So I appreciate you guys for coming on the show. Making
Yo,
it
thank you
fun.
for having me, Adrian.
thank
I
you for
really
having me,
truly
Adrian.
appreciate you, brother.
Nice meeting you, Josh. And keep
Joshua.
up the great work.
You too.
Thank you, sir. You have a good one.
All right, man. I'm gonna
All
cue the outro, and I'm gonna get this show over with. Thank you,
All right,
guys.
man. Nice
Roll
meeting you.
with the outro. Have a good night.
Later, fellas.